Good day. How is everyone? Hello, Denise. uh, there's some groggy people out there today, I guess. Since it's Saturday, August 31st, I think. Yeah, 31st, 2024. Tomorrow is the first of the month. So we'll continue with St. Catherine of Siena and the excellent understanding of the tears and love of neighbor and why and how that gets accomplished. And good day, CW. How are you? So that was a pretty exciting mass yesterday, wasn't it? With what the talk was about. Let's keep it going if anybody's interested. Again, research what I had mentioned. And again, don't lose track of your connection with the Trinitarian Theophany. Priorities, priorities, priorities. And makes me think of that's how, we got to where we get, or we get where we got. All right, let's get started with the daily prayers, and we'll get right into St. Catherine. In nomine Deum, Maternam Nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Let us place ourselves in the presence of the Trinitarian Theophany in a Catholic contemplation. Humbly venerate the Divine Family. Most holy and venerable Trinitarian Theophany, one divine family, I believe that thou art here present. I venerate thee with the deepest humility. I render to thee with my whole heart the homage which is due to thee. O Trinitarian Theophany, relying on thine infinite goodness and promises, I hope to obtain the pardon of my sins, the help of thy grace, and life everlasting, through the merits of Deum Iesum Christum et Deum Maternam Nostrae. O Trinitarian Theophany, I love thee above all things with my whole heart and soul, because thou art all good and worthy of all love. I love my neighbor as myself for love of thee, and I forgive all who have injured me and ask pardon of all whom I have injured. Let us thank the Trinitarian Theophany for the many graces that we receive, and offer ourselves and our sufferings up to heaven and for the souls in purgatory. O Trinitarian Theophany, I most humbly thank thee for all the favors thou hast bestowed upon me to the present moment. It is again thanks to thy bounty that I should live to see this day, and I desire to employ it solely in thy service. I consecrate to thee all my thoughts, words, actions, and sufferings of this day. Sanctify them, that there may be none that is not animated by thy love, or that would not tend to thy greater glory. Let us make a firm resolution to avoid evil and to do good, and let us beg of the Trinitarian Theophany the graces which are necessary to us. O Trinitarian Theophany, thou knowest my weakness, and that I am unable to do anything good without the help of thy grace. Deny me not thy grace, O God, Trinitarian Theophany, proportionate to my necessities. Give me strength to avoid everything which thou forbiddest, to practice the good which thou hast commanded, and enable me patiently to bear all the trials which it may please thee to send me. O Deum Maternam Nostrae, I place myself under thy protection. I throw myself with confidence into the arms of thy compassion. Be to me, O Mother of Mercy, my refuge in distress, my consolation in suffering, now and at the hour of my death. O most holy Trinitarian Theophany, Deum Maternam Nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. I am heartily sorry for having offended thee, and I detest all my sins, because I dread the loss of heaven and the pains of hell. But most of all, because they offend thee, O most holy Trinitarian Theophany, Dea Matronam Nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, who are all good and deserving of all my love, I firmly resolve, with the help of thy grace, to confess my sins, to do penance, and to amend my life. Okay, we were in the middle of the difference between the tears arising from the explanation of the aforesaid state of the soul in a treatise of prayer from the dialogue of St. Catherine of Siena. So we continue. Then she reposes in me, the sea Pacific, and her heart is united to me in love, as I told thee when speaking of the fourth and unitive state. When she thus feels me, the eternal deity, her eyes let fall tears of sweetness, tears indeed of milk, nourishing the soul in true patience. An odoriferous ointment are those tears, shedding odors of great sweetness. O best beloved daughter, how glorious is that soul who has indeed been able to pass from the stormy ocean to me, the sea Pacific, and in that sea which is myself, the supreme and eternal deity, to fill the pitcher of her heart, and her eye, the conduit of her heart, endeavors to satisfy her heart pangs, and so sheds tears. This is the last stage in which the soul is sanctified and sorrowful. Sanctified she is through the union which she feels herself to have with me, tasting the divine love, sorrowful through the offenses which she sees done to my goodness and greatness, for she has seen and tasted the bitterness of this in her self-knowledge, by which self-knowledge, together with her knowledge of me, she arrived at the final stage. Yet this sorrow is no impediment to the unitive state, which produces tears of great sweetness through self-knowledge, gained in love of the neighbor, in which exercise the soul discovers the plaint of my divine mercy, and grief at the offenses caused to her neighbor, weeping with those who weep, and rejoicing with those who rejoice, that is, who live in my love. Over these the soul rejoices, seeing glory and praise rendered me by my servants, so that the third kind of grief does not prevent the fourth, that is, the final grief belonging to the unitive state. They rather give savor to each other, for had not this last grief, in which the soul finds such union with me, developed from the grief belonging to the third state of neighborly love, it would not be perfect. Therefore, it is necessary that the one should flavor the other, else the soul would come to a state of presumption, induced by the subtle breeze of her love of her own reputation, and would fall at once, vomited from the heights to the depths. Therefore, it is necessary to bear with others and practice continually love to one's neighbor, together with the true knowledge of oneself. In this way will she feel the fire of my love in herself, because love of her neighbor is developed out of love of me. That is, out of that learning which the soul obtained by knowing herself and my goodness in her. When therefore she sees herself to be ineffably loved by me, she loves every rational creature with the selfsame love with which she sees herself to be loved. Just want to stop really quick. That's rational creature. Okay, we have to be careful there with that. With the selfsame love with which she sees herself to be loved. And for this reason, the soul that knows me immediately expands to the love of her neighbor, because she sees that I love that neighbor ineffably, and so herself she loves the object which she sees me to have loved still more. She further knows that she can be of no use to me and can in no way repay me that pure love with which she feels herself to be loved by me. and therefore endeavors to repay it through the medium which I have given her, namely her neighbor, who is the medium through which you can all serve me. For as I have said to thee, you can perform all virtues by means of your neighbor. I have given you all creatures, in general and in particular, according to the diverse graces each has received from me, to be ministered unto by you. You should therefore love them with the same pure love with which I have loved you. That pure love cannot be returned directly to me, because I have loved you without being myself loved, and without any consideration of myself whatsoever. For I loved you without being loved by you. Before you existed, it was indeed love that moved me to create you to my own image and likeness. This love you cannot repay to me, but you can pay it to my rational creature. Loving your neighbor without being loved by him and without consideration of your own advantage, whether spiritual or temporal, but loving him solely for the praise and glory of my name, because he has been loved by me. Thus you will fulfill the commandment to love me above everything and your neighbor as yourself. Thus is your desire infinite, otherwise it would be worth nothing, nor would any virtue of yours have any life if you served me with anything finite. For I, who am the infinite God, Trinitarian Theophany, wish to be served by you with infinite service, and the only infinite thing you possess is the affection and desire of your souls. In this sense I said that there were tears of infinite value, and this is true as regards their mode of which I have spoken, namely of the infinite desire which is united to the tears. When the soul leaves the body, the tears remain behind, but the affection of love has drawn to itself the fruit of the tears and consumed it, as happens in the case of the water in your furnace. The water has not really been taken out of the furnace, but the heat of the fire has consumed it and drawn it into itself. Thus the soul, having arrived at tasting the fire of my divine charity, and having passed from this life in a state of love towards me and her neighbor, having further possessed that unitive love which caused her tears to fall, does not cease to offer me her blessed desires. Tearful indeed, though without pain or physical weeping, for physical tears have evaporated in the furnace, becoming tears of fire from Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Thou seest then how tears are infinite, how as regards the tears shed in this life only, no tongue can tell what different sorrows may cause them. I have now told thee the difference between 4 and these states of tears. Okay, we'll stop there. Tomorrow will be of the fruit of worldly men's tears. And there was stressed in there, I stressed it also, the rational creatures. Okay, there's an inordinate love. We cannot put animals up with at the same level as your neighbor people. Okay, there's an unnatural phenomena I see in the world today, and I think it's a displaced sort of regret that happens with this particular love of animals that gets a little bit excessive. We want to treat them, of course, like they deserve, but as far as what Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum is speaking of here, it's different. vobiscum, et quoque apud te. Oremus. O Trinitarian Theophany, the Creator and Redeemer of all the faithful, grant to the souls of thy servants and handmaids the remission of all their sins, that they may obtain by loving prayers the forgiveness which they have always desired, who livest and reignest with thee, one Trinitarian Theophany, forever and ever. Suscipe Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum hoc immaculatum hostium, quam ego indignius famulos tuos offeriti Deum eum meum et verum, pro inamitabilibus peccatis et offensionibus et negligentiis meis, et pro omnibus circumstantibus ser pro omnibus fidelibus catholicorum, vivis atque defunctis ut mihi et idis proficiat ad salutem. Deum qui humanae substantiae dignitatem mirabilitu condidisi et mirabilius reformasti da nobis perius atquae et veni mysterium eius divinitatis esse consortes qui eminitatis nostrae fieri dignatus is parteceps Deum Iesum Christum Filium qui tecum vivit et reinat in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Offerimus tibi Deum calicem salutaris tuum de peccantis clementiam ut conspectu divinae majestatis tuae pro nostra et totius mundis salute cum adore suavitatis ascendat. In spiritu humilitatis et in animo contrito suscipiam rate Deum Iesum Christum, et sic fiat sacrificium nostrum et conspectu tu hodie, u placiat tibi Deum matronam nostra et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Veni Sanctificator, Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, et sanctificite blata prosequendo, et acapere hoc sacrificium tuo sancto nomini praeparatum. Suscipe, Sancta Trinitas concoblationum quam tibi afferimus, amamorem passiones, resurrectiones et ascensiones Deum Iesum Christum, et in honoram Dei matronam nostrae. Et Papa Peter Sanctorum, et Istorum et omnium Sanctorum, ut idis proficiat ad honorem, nobis autem ad salutem, et idi pro nobis intercedit et in entorum caelis, quorum amorum agimus in te dispedendum Christum Deum nostrum. Orate, ut meum equestrum sacrificium acceptabile fiat per Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Suscipiat Deum Iesum Christum sacrificium de manibus tuis, ad laudem et gloriam nomini sui ad utilitatem quoque nostram totiusque, ecclesiae suae sanctae. Deum vobiscum, et quoque apud te, sursum corda, habemus ad Deum, gratias agamus Deum nostrum, dignum et justum est. Te igitur clementes me mater et pater, Deum matronum nostrae, Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per Deum Iesum Christum Filium tuum Deum nostrae, supplices rogamus et petimus, uti accepta habeas, et sanctificas haec sanctam sacrificium ilibata. In primis quae tibi afferimus, pro ecclesiam tuam sanctam catholicam, quam pacificare, custodere, aronare, et regere dignidis toto vitelarum atque catholicae. Memento Deum famulorumque tuorum. We pray for the sick and the suffering. We pray for Katie, Gage, Neil and Earl Lively, Maria Josephina Mose, Mark Jr., Henry, Barbara, and Benedict Santa Croce, Casey, Mr. Nobody, Ann Botink, the Cantu and Duarte families, Michaela McLaren and family, Jenalina Laurie Aaron and family, Maria and the Lineweber family, the Cahill, Kendrick, Dosco, Nye, Kane, Tafor, Bigan, and Wolf families. We pray for Melody and Nick. We pray for Mr. Nobody to receive the funding and strength needed to complete the first Sede Vacantis Catholic Council office in Monastery of Illinois. We pray for an end to all governmental allowance or sanctioning of abortion, transgenderism, transhumanism, child trafficking, child abuse of any kind, anywhere, place, or time. We pray for the establishment of a Catholic monarchy with a sound Catholic system of labor, human value, medium of exchange with no usury. We pray for courageous men to step forward as leaders of this Catholic society. Take the steps necessary with courage. We ask for the conversion of all sinners trapped in a state of mortal sin, especially the ignorant. We ask for the effects of the satanic ritual and black mass that was held on June 29th, 1963, between the Vatican and the Masonic Lodge in South Carolina be reversed and the spell destroyed forever. We ask you to shut down CERN and block any starting up of any gateways or portals, and to shut them all down and have all demons return back through them. We ask that all quote-unquote gay marriage be banned, and a reversal of the feminist ideology and a return to godly femininity, that women cease working for Freemasons and corporations everywhere, and that they come to realize, both husbands and wives, that raising traditional Catholic families is a very high ideal and a necessity for sustaining a Catholic society and for teaching the children about the virtues. We ask that all pornography and the OnlyFans platform be stopped immediately. We ask you to destroy the satanic document of Vatican law that is the Jewish Talmud. We ask you to destroy Rome and the Vatican and recognize the transfer of the authority of the Catholic Church to Fatima, Portugal. We ask you to block the passage of any so-called pandemic treaty by the WHO, again based on lies and aimed at removing the divine family's children's freedom to move and travel. We ask you to block any efforts by the World Economic Forum as well, and we give them no authority over us. We also ask that you destroy all forms of Freemasonry and its tentacles everywhere and anywhere throughout the lands, and bring the members into the submission of the Trinitarian Theophany through correct baptism and confession. All these things we ask in accordance with the Trinitarian Theophany's holy and divine will. Et omnium circumstantium quorum tibi fides cognita est et nota devotio, pro quibus tibi afferimus verque tibi affrontox sacrificem laudis, pro se suisque omnibus, pro redemptione animarum suarum, pro spe salutis et calamitatis suae, tibi queredum volta sua, aeterno Deum vivo et vero, communicantes et memoriam venerantes in primis gloriosae semper Deum matronam nostrae, et de Deum Iesum Christum, et beatorum martyrium tuorum Papa Sancti Petri, et Sancti Lucia, et Sancti Jacinta, et Sancti Francisco, et Sancti Juan Diego, et omnium sanctorum, tuorum quorum meritis praecibusque concedas ut in omnibus protectionis tuae muniamur exilio per innum Christum Deum nostrum. Quam oblationem de Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum in omnibus consecratem acceptavelemque fecit dineris ut nobis corpum et sanguinem fieri dictissimi filium tuum Deum Iesum Christum, qui pridie quam paturetur recepit panem in sancta sacco venerabilis manus suas, et elevatis oculis in calamate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum suum omnipotentem tibi gratias agens, consecravit frege dedique lunis sui dicens, accipite et maldicate ex hoc omnes. Hoc est enim corpus meum. Simili modo postquam ceremonia est, accipiens et hunc praeclarum caricem et sancta sacco honorabilis manus suas, item tibi gratias agens, Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, consecrave dedique luminis sui dicens, accipite et bibite ex omnes. Hic est enim calix sanguinis mei, mysterium fidei, quae pro nobis et pro multis effundetur in remissionem peccatorum. Haeco et est cum ficeritis in meum facietis. Unde et memores Deum nos servitui, sed plebs tua sancta iustum Christum filium tuum, Deum nostrae, tam beate passiones nec non et in fedis resurrectionis, sed et in caelos gloriosae ascensionis. Offerimus praeclare majestati tuae de tuis donis actatis, supra quae propitio ac sereno vutu respicere digneris. Supplices te rogamos Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, iube hac per fide per manus tuum ut quod executaris participatione sacrosanctum Deum Filium tuum, corpus et sanguinem subsenimus, omni sanctificatione caelestia gratia Dei per amor pediendum Christum Deum nostrae. We pray for those who have died, and we especially pray for Frank Brown, for whom this Mass is being offered. Ipsis Deum et omnibum in Christum quis gentibum locum refigerii, lucis et paucis unoroge est pracamor, pediendum Christum Deum nostrum, per quem hic omnia Deum Iesum Christum semper bona creas, sanctificas, vivicas, consecratis et praestas nobis. Per ipsum et cum ipso et in ipso, est tibi Deum Matrum omnipotentium in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, omnis honor et gloria. Ave Deum Matronam Nostrae, gratia plena Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum tecum. Deum Matronam Nostrae, Matram Deum Iesum Christum, misericordia nobis, peccatoribus nunc et in hora mortis nostrae. Libera nos quaesimus, Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, ab omnibus malis, praeteritis, praesentibus et futuris, et intercedente beata gloriosa semper Deum Matronam Nostrae, cum Papa Petrum Sanctorum et omnibus sanctis da propitiis pacem divus nostris, ut opie misericordiae tuae aduiti et peccato, simus semper liberi et ab omni perturbatione securi. Pediendum Deum nostrum Iesum Christum Filium tuum Deum nostrum, qui tecum vivit et reinat in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per aeternam. Pax Deum Iesum Christum sed semper vobiscum et quoque apate. Haec mixtio et consecratio corporis et sanguinis Deum Iesum Christum, fiat accipientibus nobis in ad salutem aeternam. Pax tecum et quoque apate. Deum Iesum Christum, qui ex voluntate Deum Matronam Nostrae, quo prante Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per mortem tuum unum vivificasti, libera me per hoc sacro sanctum, per mortem tuum unum vivificasti, libera me per hoc sacro sanctum corpus et sanguinum tuum ab omnibus iniquitatibus meis et universis malis, et fac me tui semper in harare mandatis et eternumquam separari permittas, qui cum eodem Dea Matronam Nostrae et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum vivis et reinam aeternam. Perceptio corporis tui Deum Iesum Christum, quod ego indignus sumere presum, non mihi proveniat in judicium et condemnationem, sed pro tua pietate prosit mihi ad tutamentum mentis et corporis, et ad me delam percipiendam qui vivis et regnas cum Deum Matronam Nostrae in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Panem caelestem accipiem et nomen Deum Iesum Christum invocabo. Deum matronam nostrum non sundinius, ut tetum eis in tanto de quervos in abiternum mea. Deum Iesum Christum non sundinius, ut tetum eis in tanto de quervos in abiternum mea. Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum non sundinius, ut tetum eis in tanto de quervos in abiternum mea. Corpus Deum nostrum Iesum Christum custodiet anima mea. Quid retribuum Deum Iesum Christum pro omnibus quae retribuit mihi, calicem salutaris excipiam et nomen Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum invocabo, laudans invocabo Deum matronam nostrae et ab inimicis meis salvus ero. Sanguis Deum nostrum Iesum Christum custodiet anima mea. In corpus Deum nostrum Iesum Christum custodiet animam tuum. Quod oris subsumus Deum Iesum Christum pura medicapiamus et immune temperae fiat nobis remedium sempiternum. Corpus tuum Deum Iesum Christum quod sumpse et sanguis, quem potavi adheriat sceribus meis a praesta, ut in me non remaniat scela macula quem pura et sancta reficerum sacramenta. Deum vobiscum, et quoque apote, oremus. May the prayer of thy suppliants profit the souls of thy servants and handmaids, we beseech thee, O Trinitarian Theophany, that thou mayest free them from all sins, and make them sharers in thy redemption, who livest and reignest with thee, one Trinitarian Theophany, forever and ever. Deum vobiscum, et quoque apote, ite mis est. Deum gratia. Placia tibi sancta Trinitam obsequium servitutis meae, et praesta ut sacrificium, quod oculis tuae majestatis in minus auctoritatis et acceptabe mihique, et omnibus pro quibus ilut auctoriciti miserante propitiabe per personam Deum nostrum. Sanctificat vos omnipotens Deum, Matronam et Filium et Spiritum Sanctum. Deum Matronam Nostra et Deum Iesum Christum et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Gracias. O Trinitarian Theophany, I believe, I venerate, I hope, and I love thee. I beg of thee pardon for those who do not believe, do not venerate, do not hope, and do not love thee. Most Holy Trinitarian Theophany, Deum Matronam Nostra et Deum Iesum Christum et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. I venerate thee profoundly, and I offer to thee the most precious body, blood, soul, and divinity of Deum Iesum Christum present here, in reparation for the outrages, sacrileges, and indifference by which he himself is offended, and through the infinite merits of his most sacred heart and immaculate heart of Dea Matronam Nostrae, I beg of thee the conversion of poor sinners. In nomine Dei Matronam Nostrae et Deum Iesum Christum et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Gracias. Thank you for attending today, and I hope you all have a great Labor Day weekend here in the States. We're having that this weekend. And tomorrow's Mass will still be at 9 a.m. And I hope you just, love your neighbor and practice the virtues on them, if you will. All right. See you tomorrow at 9. Bye-bye.